It's 5 p.m. November 16th, 1971. Prime rush hour in upstate New York. Highways jammed, drivers restless, everyone's itching to get home after a long day at work. But on the shoulder of Interstate 490, something unthinkable is happening. A young girl, naked from the waist down, is running for her life, waving her arms and begging for help as cars fly past. Behind her, a sedan eases backward along the shoulder, keeping pace with her. Yet, car after car keeps going. At least 100 drivers see her. Not one stops. 2 days later, they find her body nearby. Carmen Colon, just 10 years old. The first known victim of the alphabet killer, a predator targeting children with chilling precision. And more than 50 years later, no one knows who he is. I'm Chris. Let's recap. On the afternoon she vanished, 10-year-old Carmen Colon was running a simple errand. Her mom sent her to the neighborhood drugstore to pick up a prescription. When the pharmacist says it'll take a few minutes, Carmen steps outside to wait, but she never makes it home. When dusk falls and there's still no sign of her, her uncle searches the neighborhood. By 8 p.m., the family calls police. 2 days later, 2 teenagers out riding bikes spot something odd in a roadside ditch. What looks like a broken doll. As they get closer, the truth hits hard. It's Carmen. She's been sexually assaulted and strangled to death. A week after that, her green pants turn up in a field near a lonely rest area about 200 yards from the stretch of highway where rush hour drivers last saw her desperately waving for help. Investigators believe her killer forced her back into his car, drove to the rest area to assault and murder her, then dumped her body on a deserted road about 2 miles away near a Rochester suburb called Eerily. Carmen's murder was the first strike in the still unsolved alphabet murders, a chilling series of child killings that rocked Rochester between 1971 and 1973. Each victim was just 10 or 11. Each had a double initial name, first and last starting with the same letter, and each was found in or near a town beginning with that same letter. A pattern so precise it still haunts investigators and still hides the identity of the monster behind it. Billboards went up all over Rochester pleading for answers in Carmen's murder, offering a $6,000 reward. But tip after tip went nowhere. More than a year passes with no sign of the killer. Then on April 2nd, 1973, it happens again. 11-year-old Wanda Walkowicz leaves home on a simple errand. Her mom asks her to grab a few groceries for dinner, just a quick run to the neighborhood supermarket, something she's done dozens of times before. Wanda pays for $8.52 worth of food, tuna fish, milk, cupcakes, and cat food, but she never makes it home. The next day, searchers find her body at the bottom of a highway embankment near a rest stop in Webster. Just like Carmen, Wanda was sexually assaulted and strangled, possibly with a belt. Tips roll in, including reports that a man pulled a red-haired girl who looked like Wanda into a brown car. The description of that car did not match the one seen on Interstate 490 in Carmen's case, and police were never able to verify the tip. 2 girls, same tragic pattern, and a predator still on the loose. On November 26, 1973, about 6 months after Wanda Walkowicz was killed, Rochester is shaken up again. 11-year-old Michelle Maenza vanishes while walking home from a shopping center. 2 days later, police make the grim discovery. Michelle's body is found in Macedon, just like the others. She's been violated and strangled. Tips flood in. One woman says she saw a girl who looked like Michelle in a car outside a fast food restaurant, and Michelle's autopsy confirms she ate a hamburger shortly before she died. Another witness remembers stopping to help a man with a flat tire on the side of the road. He noticed a girl inside the car who looked just like Michelle. The driver, though, made it crystal clear he didn't want any help. Same pattern, same horror, and still no name for the killer. But they have a description of him thanks to those witnesses, and police put together a sketch. Was this all the work of one man, and is the answer in the clues? After all, if the killer is looking for girls with double initials, how does he find them? Does he know them? Police followed up on hundreds of leads, but no one was ever charged. They did have plenty of suspects over the years. In January 1974, just weeks after Michelle Maenza's murder, Rochester police think they might finally have their man. A city firefighter named Dennis Termini tried to rape a teenage girl inside a garage. When officers move in, he pulls a handgun and shoots himself in the head. The investigation that follows is chilling. Detectives learn he assaulted at least 14 teenage girls in that very garage. His victims were older than the alphabet girls, but plenty of clues suggest he could have been their killer. His car matches descriptions of vehicles seen near the abductions. Inside, they find a map folded to highlight Wayne County, where Michelle was found. He even kept his firefighter uniform in the car. Police believe an authority figure like that could have easily convinced young girls to get in without a struggle. He lived near where Michelle Maenza was last seen, and investigators discovered white cat hairs in his car, similar to those found on her body. For years, he was suspect number one. But in 2007, new DNA testing told a different story. When investigators exhumed his body and compared his DNA to evidence from Wanda Walkowicz, it didn't match, officially ruling him out as her killer. Then came two names that sent shivers through investigators. First, Joseph Naso, a drifter turned serial killer who once lived in Rochester before landing on California's death row for murdering 6 women, 4 of them with double initials, eerily like the alphabet victims. Next, Kenneth Bianchi. In the early 70s, he was an ice cream vendor in Rochester, working spots near the first 2 murder scenes. Years later, he and his cousin Angelo Buono Jr. would terrorize Los Angeles as the infamous Hillside Stranglers. Bianchi was never charged in the alphabet killings, but there's a twist. Witnesses said his car was seen at 2 of the crime scenes. Both men stayed on investigators' radar for years, but science finally spoke. DNA from Wanda Walkowicz's murder ruled them both out, and no forensic evidence has ever linked either killer to the other alphabet murders. And that brings us to a darker question. What if these 3 murders weren't the work of one man at all? Police once zeroed in on Carmen Colon's uncle. He left Rochester for Puerto Rico soon after her murder. Inside his car, detectives found one of Carmen's dolls, and the vehicle looked like it had been scrubbed spotless. When he returned to New York, he was questioned but never charged. Years later, in 1991, he shot and wounded his wife and brother-in-law before taking his own life. Still, his family swears he never confessed to harming Carmen and insists he's innocent. But if 3 different killers struck, the coincidences between the victims are jaw-dropping. All 3 girls came from single-parent homes and had learning difficulties, and all vanished in the late afternoon, likely taken by someone in a car within blocks of their homes. Despite busy neighborhoods, no one saw anything. Could that mean they knew the person who lured them in? Then there's the brutality itself. Every victim was sexually assaulted and strangled, and the eerie double initial pattern ran through everything. Each girl's name matched the first letter of the town where her body was found. Carmen near Chili, Wanda in Webster, Michelle in Macedon. Over time, a chilling theory grew around those initials. Put them together, CWM, and some say they form a hidden abbreviated message from the killer himself. Come with me. Whether it was one predator or several, the alphabet murders remain one of the most haunting unsolved cases in American crime.